What's up guys, it's Drac, and this is my last Aeon Pro, and it's a good thing that I saved this one for last because they've just started showing up at Walmart shelves all over the country, which means that you can now get an Aeon Pro, which is most of the functionality of the Nexus Pro, at half the price. I still can't even believe this blaster exists. The dedication to half-length functionality is superb, and I am here to try and show you in this mod guide how you can make it that much better, or if you're interested, that much more manageable. But before we do, make sure that you throw this video a like, make sure that you leave me a kind comment, and then most importantly, make sure that you share this in your favorite Nerf group, favorite Nerf Instagram page, etc. Whoever has the best cross post for this video, I'm going to send not only a full kit to, but the blaster from this video. That means you get the Aeon Pro and the entirety of our Flux kit. It's a pretty good deal for clicking a few buttons. So make sure that you watch to the end of the video and check out the description box below for all of those details. In the meantime, you can't mod a box. This guy's gotta get out of the package. All right, there we go. So in the package, it's no secret. You get the blaster itself. You get 12 half-length darts. You get a magazine adapter and a very cute 12-round half-length magazine. You also get this muzzle device. I'm still not the biggest fan of this muzzle device, but it's nice that there's a press-fit muzzle device if you happen to want that break on it. Now, there are a few things that I've been looking at with this blaster over the last month and thinking about, and truly, like, huge thank you to Walmart for giving me a head start on my modifications for this, just because I've had a lot of time to think about it, play with it, tweak it, take it apart, put it back together, and there are a few things that I think we can improve on. So I almost don't even want to tell you what they are on the front end. I just want to go downstairs, crack this bad boy open, and show you what we've developed for it, because I think it's some really, really next level stuff. Okay guys, so we're gonna pull off the trigger here. We've gone ahead and painted that. Set that aside. Set it aside with the screw. I actually don't think we need the safety mechanism at all, so we're gonna set that aside completely. This is the default mag release, and then this is the one we're selling over at Foam Pro Shop. It's pretty much a one-to-one replacement, except it's a little bit shorter, and being a little bit shorter, it winds up being a little bit lower profile. So we're gonna remove that, keep the spring that comes with it, just kinda change that over, set that aside as well. Up here we've got the muzzle device. That's gonna come out in its entirety, like so. Try and, I guess we can just take the whole breech out. You can see part of what makes the Aeon so cool is this breech system. We're gonna leave this intact. We're actually gonna take this piece, we're gonna make it significantly lower profile, maintaining the pick tinny, and just push fit our replacement muzzle in like that. This will go back in a moment. Set these parts aside, and that gives you 3 bonus screws. Then the entirety, this is a very well greased system too. That's kind of impressive. The entirety of this is going to come out one fell swoop like so. Then we have this sled, which we might give a quick paint job to, and then we have this kind of funky release system, and then a catch mechanism. Now to get at the plunger system here, this comes out entirely. We'll show you how we're going to remove some of the slop from the prime in just a moment. And this is, again, just a ridiculously greased system here, but if we pull this out, you can see system has a floating plunger inside. And then in addition to that floating plunger, it has a pretty serious spring giving you all of that power. And then over on Foam Pro Shop, we actually have 2 options. Some people are going to say that the Aeon has a really stiff prime. For the people who say the prime is really stiff, we're going to be selling the Uwu spring. The Uwu spring takes this guy down to about 120 FPS on average, maybe a little lower, like 118 in our testing. So this is a weaker spring for people who want either HVZ performance or people who want a significantly lighter prime. And then we have, also as an option, the Chungus spring. Now the Chungus spring is serious. The Chungus spring takes this up to full primary level performance with half-length darts. You can get it up to almost 170 FPS, 175, depending upon how you tune it and what exactly you're firing out of it. But this guy is super duper serious and is about the maximum that this system can handle with this catch mechanism as it is. So for the purposes of this mod guide, we're gonna remove the stock spring, we're gonna set aside the uwu spring, and we're going to throw Big Chungus inside, crunch back down on it with our plunger system. And this is a pretty interesting kind of captive system here, where just like the Nexus before it was almost designed for quick changes, just like that, and we are done. Now, the next thing that we have to do in this modification is we have to come in here, take this, clean this out, because again, it's very greased, and we're going to take our insert, we're gonna push fit it in there, and then we're actually gonna take a dot of super glue and lock it in for good. Just, that's going to remove the slop, and it's also coincidentally going to remove our ability to fire full-length darts out of this, but we only care about the half-lengths. It's nice that it can fire full lengths, but we're focused on one thing and one thing only. So this is our slop remover, and it should also be pretty clean and easy to install that. So while we really like this Omni mag adapter and we think that it's pretty clever, this is just a little bit long. It gets kind of in the way of some of my mag changes. So we've gone ahead and designed one that's just a little more aesthetically interesting and more importantly, a little bit shorter. It's actually coincidentally, despite not being an injection molded piece, it uses more plastic, so it might be a little sturdier in some ways. Alright guys, so that's more or less it. I could take it outside and I could put it over the chronograph, but I want you to get kind of expected results, so we've already done that. We've done that 100 shots over the chronograph with every different spring, and I can give you guys those numbers. The uwu spring, which is the softer spring than the stock spring, gets you 120 to 126 as its, standard range, minus some outliers. The Chungus spring depends on a couple of different factors and how you do your barrel, but with a stock barrel, the Chungus spring is going to give you 160 to 165, and it's possible to get it up to 180. Mine hits much harder, but I've done a few different things to like the chambering and breach process to really make sure that my seal is just on it. Now, I kind of want to discuss what the parts are, what they do, what their purpose is. I did it a little bit while we're installing, but like if you've seen the standard release here, it's just very long. We wanted that to be a little less impactful. We wanted it to be a little less out of the way. So you get a replacement for your adapter release. That works with both. If you have a Nexus Pro and you want to do that, then you also have a low profile, vaguely Fang-esque shaped mag release here. This one's a little stiff because most of the time you don't want to drop your adapter, and you definitely don't want to be hitting it when you're going for this one. So we shrunk that one a little bit as well. So that's both the mag releases. Then you've got the insert. The insert's really simple. You just separate that breech system and it removes a lot of the slop. The slop usually is like, almost a half-length dart, which is I guess 39 millimeters of slop. Now it's very tight. It's significantly less. There's still a little bit because of how the breech works. We couldn't remove all of it, but we've necked it down to much less, which means that if you're going to put something like a replacement spring or just increase the power of the system inherently, you're going to want something that, removes some of that slop so that your prime is a little bit smoother. in that regard. Now it is stiff now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but theoretically the Aeon is already for older foam flingers, so it is quite manageable if you want that kind of performance. Then once you're all the way back, you chamber forward. Whew. You always forget. You forget how much power you've added. And then the subtlest part of the kit, the thing that you might not have noticed if it weren't mentioned explicitly, is that we've taken the Aeon and flattened out its front end. It has kind of a bulbous Picatinny rail thing at the front stock, and I just thought that it could be much cleaner. It could be a little bit shorter here if you wanted it to be, so we necked it down, shortened it up. It still uses the same stock barrel, and it still has that filleting inside if you want to like adapt it for worker barrel or a scar. It's compatible with the scar that we sell, although I do just want to reiterate, printed scars are kind of funky and you're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking. Sometimes it's a friction fit, sometimes some light sanding is required. I don't want there to be any misconceptions in terms of like how all of these parts are designed to fit together as best we can, but due to things like print variances and tolerances, short of assembling it for you ourselves, you still need to be a modder to use kits. Let's just leave it at that. Then you've got this claw, which like I said, makes it much more comfortable to prime into. As opposed to having to grip now, there's something that you can really lean into there. And in particular, this knuckle on my hand, it's a pretty comfortable prime. I like to prime this way. I know that Jake has even larger hands than I do, and sometimes he grabs like this and primes back that way. I'm really into gripping it that way and kind of resting bone against claw, but that's just me. You can kind of use it one way or another, and ultimately the kit is designed to be so inexpensive over on foamproshop.com that if you decide that you still want to use foam full lengths, don't include this part in your build. If you decide that you like a mag release or the other, don't use the replacement. And then if you decide that you really like the stock slide, maybe you want to stick with the UU spring and you don't think that you need any additional purchase, all you have to do is just reassemble it, not putting the claw piece in. The muzzle though, I think the muzzle's for everybody. The muzzle is really, really slick. So the kits break down in a variety of different ways. I just want to give you guys a rough ballpark on pricing. I highly encourage you check out foamproshop.com anyway, because we've got a lot of cool offerings for a lot of great blasters on the market right now. But we are shooting for $15 for the entirety of the printed parts. If you just want the muzzle or just want what I like to call the little bits will be available in black. The muzzle will be available in our custom glitter orange exclusively. So that'll probably be like the bundle, I think, should be about $15. And then while the springs are going to be $6 individually, you can pick up the springs in the bundle and save a little bit of money. If you decide that you want to pick up both springs, maybe you have two Aeon Pros, they are cheap enough that is a very viable option for a lot of people I know, then there will be some sort of bundle where you can get the little bits in both springs, or perhaps two kits in both springs. I don't know, I really like offering people the ability to make things exactly the way that we make it, so there are a lot of different bundles over on foamproshop.com, and that is explicitly intentional so that you guys can save a little bit of money by picking everything up, and I can save a little bit of money by not shipping you multiple packages over a couple of weeks. Instead, we just process it once and give you everything that you need to make yours exactly like this. Now, the only thing that I want to finish up here in this video is that this Aeon Pro is for freezies. It's for givesies awaysies. All you have to do is kind of share this video, let people know that this kit exists, share it in your Facebook group, share it on your Instagram, and all I have to say is that I am paying very, very close attention to the Nerfiverse. It's literally part of my job to pay close attention. So whoever has the best meme, the best share, the most engaging reaction thing, that's going to be the person. So Godspeed and good luck. If you share the kit, I'll throw an image up on my Instagram that you can swipe if you need it. And I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. But I figure that that is a really good way to reward somebody who helps us out in advertising the kit, and that's kind of the sort of contest that I've always been interested in as an influencer, is merit-based competitions / giveaways. And so we'll try it this way once. We've done probably 100 random-based giveaways in the past, but I spent a long time going through and just detailing this guy up with gray enamel, and I hope that whoever gets it enjoys having something that's truly unique and hits like a truck now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Much love. Blast on. Drac out.